So listen, I remember when I was a young, adorable kid, and I used to watch my favorite movies growing up, which included The Lion King, that's a good one, How to Train Your Dragon, of course another good one, um, Finding Nemo, another classic, Shrek even, good movies, right? And I was always a big fan of the princess movies, all, I don't know what they're at, 20, all 20 princesses now. I love those movies, and I still do, even as a 20-year-old. They also don't hit the same, but I still enjoy them. And I will proudly admit that I was a Barbie kid. I enjoyed everything Barbie. I enjoyed the movies. I had all the dolls. I dressed up as Barbie at one point. I loved Barbie, and I still do. I'm very excited for the new Barbie movie that's coming out in July. I'm very hyped for that. So the Barbie movies that I distinctly remember growing up is Barbie and the Mariposa. That was classic. Barbie: A Mermaid Tale. Barbie: A Fashion Fairy Tale. Barbie: The Island Princess. Barbie: The Princess and the Pop Star, which is one of my personal favorites. But a Barbie movie that I have never heard of until recently, the Barbie Diaries. Like what, like who is she? Who is that? What is that? I never have heard of and I was a huge Barbie fanatic, but I have never heard of that movie. So I looked it up, and that movie actually came out in 2006. That literally is my prime growing up. How have I not heard of this? It's beyond me. How have I not heard of this movie? So you know what I had to do as a 20-year-old? I had to watch it. I had to see what I was missing. And was I missing a lot? I was. I feel like if I seen this movie when I was little, it would have changed my view on high school. It would make me not want to go to high school, if I'm being completely honest. But it's like, I would call it a forgotten Barbie movie. It's generally completely forgotten because I hear no one talk about this movie. Not only that, but this movie kind of sticks out from the rest of the Barbie movies because it generally just doesn't feel like a Barbie movie. It really doesn't. It feels like its own thing. It feels like its own different company, its own like Barbie doesn't even act like Barbie in this movie. It's really weird. And no, this isn't one of those Barbie movies where she has another name. Her name is actually Barbie in this movie. And she has some of her other friends who are also in these movies. So I also found out that this movie aired on Nickelodeon on April 30th of 2006. Like, where was I? I was a huge Nickelodeon fan and Barbie fan, and I was alive in 2006. Where was I to watch this movie? I'm so confused. I don't understand. I really don't. So let me just get into the synopsis of this movie in case you guys are curious. Basically, in this film, Barbie is portrayed as a typical American teenager who is a sophomore in high school and who encounters the problem that real-life teenagers often encounter, making new friends, dating, gossip, and getting involved in school activities. She's always been beaten in everything by Raquel, which is like basically the snobby girl in the Barbie universe. I think she gets revived in Barbie the Dream House, but I'm not a part of that. Basically, Barbie has a crush on this guy named Todd, who is the Ken in this movie. Not even. He's not really even the Ken, because I guess I won't spoil it in case you guys wanted to see this movie. But yeah, I wouldn't consider him the Ken. I would consider another guy the Ken. That's all I'll say. So basically, she wants to make sophomore year the best year ever, so she wants to start a video blog, and she decides to make a video blog and news story about the popular kids, which includes, of course, her arch enemy, Raquel. And then eventually, she was going to go to prom, or homecoming, or whatever, and then she gets a magic diary. She gets a diary from this woman who was selling her the dress. And Barbie believes that this journal or this diary is magic because everything she writes in the journal becomes real. Like she could almost predict the future with this journal. So she almost clings to it like a security blanket. Meanwhile, she's been getting some secret admirer letters that she believes is Tom. And again, I won't spoil it too much in case you guys want to watch it. She believes that the secret admirer letters are coming from Tom. She also has two other friends in this movie, and she also has a male friend who apparently has a huge crush on her, which I find very adorable. It's very cute. Now, first thing first is that this movie probably has one of the worst animations in any movie I've ever seen. The animation is honestly atrocious. But it's really weird though, because the story is pretty solid. Like, the writing is good, the voice acting is decent. Like why is the animation just so bad? That's another reason why this sticks out from all the Barbie movies. Just because it like looks and feels just so different. Like, this is not a freaking Barbie movie. All these are Barbie movies except for this one. This is not a Barbie movie. I mean, it is, but it does not feel like one. Like, I watched it and I was like, this movie is actually pretty good. But does it feel like a Barbie movie? No, it really does not. And also, when freaking Barbie goes to prom, this is her dress. What kind of dress is that? That is not a prom dress. Why does she look like she's going to a freaking spring fling in Zoe 101? That is not her dress. That's not a freaking dress. But anyway, in this movie, Barbie's last name is Roberts. Is that Barbie's real name? Does she actually have a last name? Is her name Barbie Roberts? Is that her name? Wow. I'm so confused. This movie also includes some very beautiful musical performances, may I add. And this movie also includes some very beloved musical artists, such as Kesha. She sings the opening song Invisible. Barbie does sing in this movie, but I find it so weird because her singing voice and her acting voice is different people. And it's so obvious. You cannot, like, it's kind of funny. Like, it does not sound like her talking voice. Like, when she talks and she sings, it's like night and day. Like, I'm like, that is not the same person. Like, who are you? Get out of here. It's also interesting to point out that this is the first and only Barbie movie where she's actually in high school. Like, she's never in high school in any of her like in any of her movies, which is kind of funny because she's like supposed to be like a normal teenage girl, but she's not. Like, she does everything. She literally does everything, including stuff no one can be. Like being a mermaid. You can't just be a mermaid or be a princess. You can't just grow up and go to school to be a princess. Unless you go to Princess Charm school. I also recommend this movie if you are looking for a good drama, because this movie is actually classified as a freaking animated drama. I have never seen a real animated drama before. I don't know why I haven't seen an animated drama before, but that's kind of cool. In this movie, you definitely get to see some teenage drama, but not just that. You see kind of a different side to Barbie. You see her getting kind of darker, getting kind of deeper, getting more mysterious, getting kind of, kind of letting the popular kids manipulate her. And then you even get to see her kind of go through a little bit of depression phase, which is very interesting to see Barbie go through that because she's always so happy, so peppy in all of her movies. But that's fun. We kind of get to see her true colors for a second. She's also a part of a band in this movie, which is very random to the plot. Like, it doesn't really have anything to do with the plot, but it's fun. It's fun. I also think Barbie is kind of like slaying in her outfits throughout this movie. She has a bunch of different outfits and she's slaying. Even though she's poorly animated, she's still slaying. So this is my first Barbie review. Maybe I'll do more. I recommend this movie. I probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's good. It's good. Not one of the best Barbie movies, but I feel like it's one of those movies where it's like, it will keep your attention span, because I know for Barbie movies it's hard, because you kind of lose your attention span so easily, at least for me, because I watched Barbie, what was it, Barbie the Swan? No. Barbie and the Pink Shoes. I watched that recently. It wasn't bad. It was about a ballet. So if you're like uncultured in that aspect, or if you just don't care about ballets, or if you don't want to watch ballet dancing for 2 hours, then it just definitely isn't for you. But I feel like this movie is good if you grew up with like High School Musical, even Mean Girls, Geek Charming, like that kind of stuff. I feel like I feel like you'll definitely like it. It's one of those Barbie movies that's actually easy to understand, in my opinion. Well, I give this a 7.5 out of 10. I definitely recommend you watch this one, and I guess I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!